This is Cinderella Stories with Ash and Sav. Oh my gosh, Ash, it is actually almost Christmas if you can't tell by my parents' living room right now.
Okay,
the
festive.
curls are out. Yeah, right? No, they did a great job decorating. There's actually a whole Christmas village over there too. I know that we talked this week and I'm sure it was on your timeline, it was on my timeline. This whole heated rivalry thing, we got to talk about that. We got to get to that. Also, speaking of rivalry, we got to talk about the WNBA and where they're standing with the WNBPA.
Yeah.
And so much things to get to this episode. I'm excited. This is actually our last one for the year.
Of the
so
year.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling excited.
Yeah.
I'm feeling let down about myself that I didn't get onto heated rivalry sooner. I had seen it and I was like, okay, I don't know. Because sometimes, and I mean this, I guess I kind of mean it disrespectfully, but not intentionally. Sometimes when you're oh, it's a Canadian production, there's a certain feel to it that you're
guard that goes up. Yeah.
You're I don't know if I'm going to be into it. I mean, it has been improving a lot lately in recent years, in particular in the sports space. We've had Leonard Ketty, we've had Shorzy, we've had a bunch of stuff. So I think it was you that gave me the cosign. You're no, you need to lock in, you need to tune in. And so all last night I watched Heated Rivalry to catch up for this chat. So I am ready. I'm primed.
Hey!
I am primed for the conversation.
Okay, wait. Did you watch all the episodes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So you did your homework. You were yes. Okay, I'll try to catch a couple episodes. I'm no, you're going to sit there and you're going to binge watch all 5.
Because here's the thing, I love a spoiler. I don't mind if someone tells me the way something ends. That doesn't really bother me. I'll still watch the show. Yeah, I don't really care in that regard. Unless it's going to be some crazy plot twist that you never saw coming. But I feel they don't really make movies and shows like that anymore. I feel as though I haven't been really stunned into silence since something like The Sixth Sense or something like that, when he's actually a dead person. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so you co-signed. I did the homework and I'm ready for the oral assignment. No pun intended.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. So that said, upcoming, we know that, bruh.
You're nasty.
You're nasty.
You're nasty. I had to say it because I knew you were do the wheels are.
I was thinking it.
Pause.
You were the one making fun of me the past 2 weeks and be oh, you like watching that? You like watching that genre? I'm yeah. Well, yeah. It is. It's a romantic story.
I didn't say genre.
A rom-com.
No. Pause.
No, do not put words in my mouth. Okay, go ahead.
I don't like the gay genre. What genre? The sports.
I don't know.
No.
The 50 Shades of Grey genre.
I saw that. It wasn't good. This is superior to 50 Shades.
No, this is way better than 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. No, I only watched the first
all the girls
one.
Who are on horny book talk want.
Yes.
That's what this reminds me.
That's it.
Okay, so why don't you? This is your baby. Why don't you give a synopsis for people who haven't really been into the show just yet? So where are we at with this? Heated Rivalries is about what? Okay,
so just a disclaimer: if you are listening to this podcast and you want to watch Heated Rivalry, probably skip to the 15-20 minute mark because this is going to go on for a little bit. But basically, the disclaimer here, the synopsis here is that these two rivals, starting from high school, basically, they get drafted to what they call the MLH, which is basically a cop out of the NHL.
Major League Hockey,
they even have very similar logos. Yeah. They even have very similar logos and aesthetics to the NHL, so everyone knows what they're pointing at. They get drafted to the NHL, literally first and second pick. And throughout their entire careers, from high school to the international scene with Team Canada / Team Russia, they are rivals. They are always winning awards, one or the other, going each way. One of the characters won Rookie of the Year. The other one wins MVP. The following year, the one that won Rookie of the Year wins MVP. And so it's just really cool tension of not just on ice, actual stuff that happens in real life in terms of rivalries and that sports narrative, but that's just a backdrop. the sports is just a backdrop. It could have almost been any sport, but they chose
It's a
hockey. We'll get into that in a
formality.
minute. Well, it's a formality. The
Yeah.
real story of Heated Rivalry is 1000% an enemies to lovers romantic drama that all the girlies are sat for. And so, of course, like as these guys are rivals on the ice, they're lovers off the ice. And they're like in denial at first, basically, of anything more than just like physical chemistry. And then they find out, that there's probably something more. And they like, that's why, actually, sidebar, you can never be friends with benefits. I don't believe in that. Someone's always going to catch feelings. Someone's always going to catch feelings.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
matter the relationship dynamic, whether it's male to female, male to male, female to female, that's kind of what it's giving here. Yeah. So it's
exactly.
So from the hockey standpoint, it's very cliche in an appropriate sense, where Shane Hollinger, as you mentioned, he's a Canadian athlete. He was drafted second overall. He's very serious. He's very polite. Hockey is life, that kind of energy. And then his counterpart, the number 1 overall draft pick, Ilya Rozanov, is Russian. And he is very curt and cocky, and hockey is life, but it's because he's there, not because it's hockey. It's because he brought the energy to the show, kind of thing. He's funny. First of all, the actor that plays Ilya Rozanov
so good.
is hilarious. Like his little one-liners,
my favorite.
So good. And so, yeah, to your point, like it starts off as like a really slow burn, and then turns into casual hooking up, and then turns into, we are rivalries, like F you, I want to win, F you, we're playing each other, I'm going to score 9 goals, if you know. And then we're going to meet up after, and yeah, we're going to get it on. Basically, it is very sexist. I finished the last episode on the treadmill this morning, and I had to like take it down at one point because I had the Octo Buddy, like, so it was stuck. And then I was like, oh, okay, I have to just like remove that and like maybe listen a little, because
look behind you.
It was the same level of perversion I feel when I'm watching a movie on the plane and a sex scene comes on and you're just like, I didn't know. But
episode 5 had like, and this is crazy that you say that, because episode 5 had the least physical, the least. And you still had to take it down.
And I was just like, fuck. And I knew it. I was like, wait, this one feels kind of like more sentimental, because, okay, so let's back up a little bit. There's a lot to talk about, that you could go in a lot of different directions with the series. What is your, I guess, biggest takeaway? Because while it is yearning and romantic and sexy, there are larger narratives at play here. And I think that's why people also have really liked this show, because it speaks to a lot of things in the current climate in terms of sports and sexuality.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's exactly to what you said. There's so much things that they touch on, and they do it in such a subtle way. It's never on the nose, but it's understood. And I created a whole TikTok rant about this. I feel like we could post this on the IG soon. But basically, there's a couple of things that the writers just did a great job of displaying without telling you. Basically, that we all know that hockey is probably by and large the most conservative sport still, especially in men's sports. And so anything that has anything to do with homosexuality.
Sorry, particularly men's on the men's side. The women's side, the girls are girly. They're fine.
Exactly. And then 2, they made this couple interracial, which they also don't really dive too much into the race stuff. But like even the fact that Shane Hollander, his background is half white, half Asian. They don't specify as to what exactly.
And they only mentioned it once out loud.
The first episode, his mom makes it known that you represent more than just yourself, that we're never in these spaces. So now you have like, you are a role model layered on top of this whole narrative that you can't be openly gay in the most conservative sport. And the parallels to reality is that, and I saw a TikTok rant about this last night, although there is a openly gay professional hockey player, he's now former, but he did come out while he's still playing hockey, Brock McGillis, that we'll have eventually on the podcast.
I'm excited.
There actually still this day is no openly gay NHL hockey players or former hockey players to this day. And so that's the backdrop that they chose to use for this love story. What was like your biggest takeaway, if you have anything to add, um or any thoughts that kind of emerge, especially from you who's like I rewatched the whole series last night, by the way. Like from you who just watched for the first
Yeah.
time.
So I think the conservative nature of hockey is such a good backdrop for this because the stakes are so high, right? You feel as though any wrongdoing, any misstep, any errant text message could get you into quote unquote trouble. And that trouble is something that if you know, you know, it's not talked about, it's understood. It's like ask, don't tell kind of energy. They made a remark about it. There's a scene because it like breezes through almost a decade, right? In the series, in the first 5 episodes. Like I think it starts 09, 08, and then by the time we end, it's like 2015. So and there's still one more episode though, as the time of recording. But I think that also like they have an Olympics moment. They're in Sochi, and Shane Hollinger talks about his
Mm-hmm.
friend who's a figure skater, and one of the players makes a comment like, "Wow, he's so brave." He's so brave to be gay and skating in Russia. And like, I don't think that the Shane Hollinger character understood the ramifications of being gay in Russia in particular. And so I think in that moment, it
Mm-hmm.
allows him to look at his love interest, Ilya, in a different light where he's like, oh, right. Like, it's high stakes for me just as a man in hockey being gay, but it's even higher stakes as a Russian who it's said openly that like if Ilya came out, he couldn't go home. Who knows what would happen to him? He would
Exactly.
be rejected by his family. He would be disowned. He might be beaten in the street. He might be murdered. Da 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 da. And that's somebody who's a high-ranking hockey player who's like bringing recognition and accolades to his country, and he still doesn't have the freedom or feel the comfort in doing so. Um, there was also what really kind of got me sad was the Scott Hunter interlude episode got me a little bit because it's an older player who's in New York, who's gay, closeted, sparks up a relationship with a local barista who makes him this like iconic smoothie that he's never had before. He keeps the down low relationship for a little while with the character Kip, whose dad in the show is played by this actor who plays Oliver in this show called Rookie Blues, which I really, really love. I thought that was excellent casting. Anyway,
Mm.
so Kip and Scott have this like really sweet like love affair. It's actually a stark contrast to what Shane and Ilya have because they're like quick wham bam thank you ma'am like let's get it on, let's get
Uh-huh.
out, whereas like Scott really is drawn to Kip and is like, please don't go. Like, I have no family. I feel all alone. You fill a void in my life that I've been looking for. But he's closeted and he's not ready to be out. And so Kip gets kept a secret and it turns into this like heart wrenching, like, I love you, but I love myself more. And I won't be hidden in the shadows with you
Mm-hmm.
because you can't come out, kind of thing. And then fast forward to episode 5, Scott wins
I
the
know.
Scott Hunter wins
The
the
cup.
Stanley Cup, whatever is their version of it. And everyone comes out to greet the players, their whole families, their lovers, their girlfriends, their moms, their dads, their kids. And Scott Hunter, who's also an orphan, just to add to the drama, who's also an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
His parents got killed by a drunk driver when he was 12. He looks up in the stands and who's there? Kip with his dad and his friend. And he thinks he's like, I'm gonna do it, 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 I'm gonna do it. And he waves him down. He's like, come, come, come. And he's like, me? Zooms in on Kip. They follow him down. He's like, oh, I wonder, the broadcasters, oh, what a lucky fan. What a great day for this guy. I wonder if he knows him. I wonder, hops the board. Kip goes, you don't have to do this. And he's like, I'm about to do it. Grabs his face and lays a smooch on him. And then they're kissing. And I thought the broadcaster line was so perfect. It's exactly what like I feel like a hockey broadcaster. Well, you don't see this every day.
Yeah, literally. No, literally. And like
It
the
was right.
best
It was
part of
perfect.
this, it was so 10 out of 10. Well done with that scene because it could have been tacky, it could have been
Mm-hmm.
cliche, it could have been so much other things, but it was like it just like it was like a good slice of chocolate cake. Like it just
Yeah.
hit in all the right spots. And the best part for me was that storyline interwove itself into the overall storyline between Ilya and Shane. The best part was the fact that like Ilya and Shane are watching that moment from home.
Yeah.
And previously, earlier in that episode 5, like Shane invites Ilya to his cottage. And this is coming off of the back of the fact that Ilya lost his dad. His brother slandered him for like
His
basically
brother's a
being
fucking bag of
it's
shit, first of
crazy. I
all.
know, crazy. And like, but like slandered him for being gay because like even whether he knew or not, he was just like saying a bunch of homophobic slurs. It
The
seemed like
F word.
he knew someone, yeah, like calling him everything. But then yeah, so then Ilya vents to
Shane.
Shane in Russian,
Okay.
and it admits that he loves him, but Shane doesn't know what he
We
said
have
because
to
he's speaking
sidebar.
Russian. For everyone who's listening, to get an idea of like how incredible this episode was, it's not just us here like giggling and raving about it. Like literally, I saw like a bunch of facts that came out that said like this is the highest rated episode on IMDb.
Yeah.
Or did I say that right?
Yeah.
IMDb, yeah.
IMDb.
The
Yeah.
highest rated episode on IMDb since Breaking Bad,
Oh,
like one of the
wow.
Breaking Bad episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like season whatever episode 15, Breaking Bad. Um and like that just tells you I think how much this narrative is needed in I guess this space of hockey, but then also like the storytelling element, like how they did it, like they were so meticulous. And oh, by the way, I read this on I believe there's a Glamour article
Mm-hmm.
that because Francois, the actor that plays Scott, in that moment when he's lifting the cup and looking for his lover in the crowd,
Yeah.
they used the same song for that championship moment as the same song as when he met him in the
Oh.
cafe. The song is called I'll Believe in Anything by Wolf Parade. And yeah, it's
Okay.
the song that Scott Hunter was listening to right before he set eyes on the
Oh, when
history
he was
buff Kit
running.
Grady when he was running.
Mm-hmm.
It's that song. And then
Oh.
and then they brought it back for that championship moment and like the actor talks about
Yeah.
that moment and he was like I heard those lyrics again in a completely new light. So
Oh.
I think we gotta pull up the lyrics at some point or go look up the lyrics for that song. But it's just a 10 out of 10. Production, cinematography, oh my goodness.
All of it.
Like
All of
everything.
it. It didn't look
All of
cheap.
it.
It didn't look forced. It didn't look, school projecty. And then also, just to circle back and finish your point off, which I know you were getting to in the first place, though, when Scott Hunter kisses Kip on the ice, Ilya and Shane are watching separately but together because it's the
Mm.
Stanley Cup Finals or whatever the MSH Finals. And Ilya calls Shane and is like, "I'm coming to cottage," and I'm like, "Ah!" Because before he said he
I'm
wasn't
coming.
the cottage because he's like, it's too obvious, it's too bait, da, da, da. We can't be doing this. Shane's like, okay, cool, my heart's broken, but whatever, I don't even care. And then Ilya's like, I come to cottage, and I was like, ah, I'm kicking my feet. I'm like, yeah.
He is coming to the cottage
So
today. Ah, I've never been so happy.
yeah.
I've never been so happy for somebody to tell me that they're going to a cottage that isn't like,
And I'm
I'm
not
not invited
invited.
to.
Yeah. Like, never been
Yeah,
so
that's
happy
crazy. I'm
not
so
to be
happy for
invited to
you.
Muskoka. Never been happier.
But facts. And
Okay.
oh my gosh. And the other thing is that like they play so well into the Canadian tropes, but I want to get
Yeah.
into because
So straight women
I
lore.
want to get yeah, the straight woman lore, but then also like what ramifications do you think a series like this has, in terms of like the overall cultural narrative? I think we could dive into that more with Brock, of course, but just also in general, like what and also what our episode 6 predictions will be because that's the last episode of the series,
Yeah, I'm scared. I
season
don't know.
finale.
I'm so nervous. Like, obviously, they're going to have cottage time. Maybe they discuss something. Maybe Ilya's like, if you want to. I could see it being like, Ilya's like, if you want to, like, I won't go back to Russia. There's nothing for me there. The only thing that I have is you. Some kind of proclamation. And then I could still see Shane being scared. I could still see Shane being scared, even though Scott Hunter did it, because we're going to see the fallout for Scott Hunter. And I think it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
publicly positive and internally negative. And I think it's going to
What do you
be
mean?
heartbreaking in that
Oh,
sense.
like in the locker
In
room.
the hockey community, I'm not sure how it's going to be received.
Mm.
I don't know. It's based on a book. I haven't read the book. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't necessarily think that this is something that's going to like flip the switch overnight, but I think that this level of representation and visibility can only have positive impact where it's like any kind of homosexuality that's going to be integrated into sports just because people are who they are, that's going to be something that's like grandfathered in. I don't think that's going to be something that happens overnight, unfortunately. I don't know if there's that comfort level or
No.
that safe space for that, which I hate that that's the case, but I think it's like the next generation, the next two generations, like the heated rivalry was like around. So like it's not something as foreign, and more people than, oh, not my hand. No, more people that they know have like gay parents. And so it's more normalized in that regard. But I think that the reason that it's shaped around hockey is what makes this so intriguing, because it literally is like, I would be so worried if someone found out about them for them. Like, I don't know what would happen to them. And I think even me feeling that way about characters that aren't real says all you need to know about the state of hockey culture at this point.
Exactly. No, I think that for me, my takeaway was, okay, I'm not expecting, someone to immediately come out all of a sudden, from like in real life, like in terms of the NHL, but I am thinking that it might add a layer of sensitivity to how their teammates talk about like homophobic slurs in the locker room. Like maybe they don't say like stuff as much, maybe because like hockey culture is also like so ingrained with that. Like you go into any locker room and they're like saying things so casually, like we're like, wait, maybe you shouldn't say that. And like they did that really well in the series too, is like basically layering in how just like the casual quote quote like homophobic slur just said. It's just said openly, understood, like, and it's like, oh, like,
from his brother,
I'm not
from
gonna repeat
Ilya's
what
brother.
they say. Well, Ilya's brother's one, but even like locker room talk, like there's a couple scenes where they're saying things, they're talking, but like they're saying things that like that has a tone, an undertone of homosexual. Even like my takeaway was basically the fact that like I think that this is going to change the way that people talk in a locker room a little bit, like in terms of allyship. Like maybe they'll double check themselves, like just check themselves a little bit,
I think
just because like, and that's like I think it's a very minor way that this a show like this could have an impact.
A major impact. Yeah. A minor thing that causes a major change. I think though I believe it was Brock McGillis, who, as you mentioned, we're going to talk to once the series season 1 wraps up. I did see something that he put on Twitter, I believe it was. I think he goes and he talks to hockey organizations, teams,
He
schools,
does.
whatever the case may be. And he made a comment about some of the questions that were being asked, or just, the curiosity that there already has been a shift, he feels, from when he was playing to the players that are coming up now. So I think the kids are all right, kind of thing. And then something like this just can't hurt to see and be recognized as well for how good it's been.
Yeah, exactly. No, and then I don't know if you have any other thoughts to add about like, because
Yeah,
like
why
there's
do the
been
straight women love it?
reports
That's the
that the
question that I
women, the
have. The
girlies,
straight girls are
us,
obsessed.
we are obsessed. We are very obsessed with
The
this series.
straights are down bad.
Um, I okay. I don't okay. My theory about this is the fact that I think it depicts men in a different light than typically like in terms of and there's no way to showcase a relationship dynamic like this, because every relationship, no matter like straight, gay, whatever it is different. So like, but I just feel like because there's not a whole lot of visibility in mainstream media towards this type of relationship dynamic. Also, I feel like we're also seeing on the inside for the girlies, like how men basically communicate with each other, and how it actually started with hookup first and then emotional intimacy secondary, and like how that buildup happened. I think we were all here for the lore, but like I would be curious to know your take on why you think the girlies are all so invested into this love story.
I have thoughts. Okay, first of all,
They're also really good looking.
they're
They're
also,
incredibly good
first of all,
looking.
they're fine. Number one, like the eyes eat
Be
first.
so for real.
The eyes eat first.
Both of the
Every
well
chef,
casted.
every
This
chef
is
you
very
talk
well
to,
casted.
every chef you talk to, they'll be like, the plate needs to look beautiful because the eyes eat first, and these men are beautiful. So that's first and foremost. Second, I would say I think your point is super valid that you don't oftentimes get males in roles where there's emotional complexity, and you don't get to see that. And I think that that's something that women kind of yearn for, is like that vulnerability from men, like on the straight side of things. Also, I will say that on like the Venn diagram of girls, gays, theys, and men, straight men, it's like the straight women and the gay men link up heavily. They fuck with each other heavily.
Yes.
And so it's like the girlies and the gays are are like literally sat for this together, because that's the relationship where they have the things in common. They have the men in common as like the object of their affection. I think that's part of it too. And then
Despise.
I also just believe that, like, listen, I'm a sucker for like a slow burn too, and like a yearning too. I think that that's part of it. I think that that's why like the Bridgerton series was also super popular, because it was all just like one big series of foreplay. I mean, in the Heated Rivalry, they get to it a little bit faster, which like fine is a sign of the times. It's okay. But I think that there's also like a question mark the whole time. And let's be so for real. Like I would say 90% of the population has had a sneaky link, has been the sneaky or the sneaker. And so having the story being essentially about a sneaky link for 5 hours, you've been in that situation, whether you've been the one that is more controlled, like has less emotion involved, where you've been the one who's kind of like naive and like is kind of at the beck and call. Like I think that that's a human thing, and a human thing that people have experienced in terms of relationships and the dynamic. So we have the ability to relate to that more. And then the final thing I will say in that same vein is I also think that women are more comfortable with empathy or apathy for people who don't necessarily represent themselves. They can be like, oh, this portion of the show I can relate to. And I think that straight men in particular would have a problem.
Everything you said, I'm just like, CC me on the email. Like, yeah, absolutely. Retweet. And so, yeah, like exactly. You broke it down very well there. Cause like why us girlies go so, it's like, that's why actually another reason why I want to talk about it on the podcast so bad, because I'm like, it's the girls and the gays, yo.
Yeah.
Like we really out here in the trenches a lot of the times. So like to see us come together, and I think also to support something that once again you don't typically see on TV, but then just in general, like you're like, oh, ever. And like if you want to go to like privilege and stuff like that, like gay men don't have the same privileges as straight men, women don't have the same privileges as straight men. And so like it's kind of like a bit of like a like ally, like Kiki, ally. But the last thing I said from the Glamour article, so forever. This is coming from facts. Ally,
bro.
Is so Francois, he's the guy that plays Scott in the series. He sat down with Glamour and they basically asked like, what do you want hockey players to watch this episode? Is that something that you're thinking about? And he says like, yeah, I hope they do. I don't have any hockey players in my circle, so I haven't been able to talk to any of them who may or may not have watched the show. But through this, I've met agents who represent hockey players who have told me in confidentiality and without naming any names that this is something that some of them do go through. It's not just a fantasy. The show has already reached a much wider audience than I've ever hoped it would, and a breadth of different people with different backgrounds. And I think that's the power of storytelling. So I think that's where it really goes. Yeah, like, straight from the actor's words himself.
No one's trying to out anybody, but the numbers dictate.
No.
The numbers dictate.
Facts. It's just, they're stats, yo. They're stats. Just, be so for real.
It is what it is. But yeah, so Heated Rivalry, if you haven't seen it, watch it, catch up with us. Sav and I will be talking to Brock McGillis next week in lieu of a regular episode. We're going to do an interview episode, and the final and 6th episode of the season drops on Friday, and we're going to talk to Brock about everything about it.
We have done the gays. Now we got to do the girls. This is what we are here gathered for today. And there is a heated rivalry between the WNBA and the WNBPA, as I mentioned earlier. Don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but like, man, oh man. Like, I think the other week we said it's like a 60-40 chance of a lockout. I'm gonna up those odds to 80 now. 80-20, 80 being lockout probably gonna happen. And I say that because like now the WNBPA has been really coming out in full force, basically saying like, we want 30%. They're giving us 15, and then even less than, and they're taking things away from us. And then just been so much rhetoric and so much narrative. Like Nneka has been very vocal. She's been so awesome with giving us an inside lens of kind of like where things are standing from the player's perspective. And basically that is like going absolutely nowhere. I believe there's a video where she said, you know, when they say a period at the end of the period at the end of a sentence, yeah, well, that's where we're at. Like, stand still.
Full stop, period. Full stop is basically, it means period. Like a period is a full stop to the end of a sentence. A period is period, full stop, bomb.
It just doesn't seem like we said that they're not on the same chapter, the same page, not on the same shelf. They're not even in the same bookcase now.
Might not even be the same language. Then we might need some kind of translator.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what your takeaways are in terms of like kind of what's happening. Like, there's been a lot of updates and no updates at the same time.
Yeah, I think that what it looks like is the WNBA is thinking that these players have a poverty mentality, that they don't understand that the meeting, it's like this, the question, like, would you want a meeting with Jay-Z for an hour or you want $1 million today?
$1 million.
I want $1 million today because like what I would be able to do with that in terms of investment and interest and I could probably get a meeting with Jay-Z in 5 years and talk to him about it. Or be in the same room as Jay-Z at some kind of fundraiser buying a ticket with that money. And the WNBA is looking at the players like they have this poverty mentality, like they don't understand that, hey, I don't want one meal, I want to learn how to cook. And that's kind of where I feel like the difference is. And so to your point, the WNBA is, they upped their latest offer, by the way, $1.3 million
really?
for a supermax, with it topping out at $2 million by the time the CBA is over. Average salaries jumping from 500,000 and change to 700,000 and change by the time the CBA is expired. But to your point, the revenue sharing element, which is the main thing for the players, has not been addressed appropriately. To your point, an earlier deal, they said they were given 15%, but it decreased every year incrementally, which, like, in what world, babe? You must.
What logic is that?
Like, you must think I'm really dumb.
You
must think I'm
really, in no sports is that ever even a thing. How dumb do you think? No facts. Like,
it's actually
that's not even a thing in any sport.
It's actually disrespectful. Like, okay, it's fine. So now, to your point, there's like the standoff space where the WNBA players, 93% of them voted to give the PA the authority to call a strike should that happen. Now, that felt nuclear for a lot of people, and it's not saying they're going to call a strike. They now just have the authority to do so because the players have seen what's been offered up, and they're not liking it. They said, we want steak. You guys are offering us a vegan menu. No fucking thanks. You could hold that. So that's the first thing. And to your point, Nneka Ogwumike put out a video where she was just talking about the negotiations. And her thing is like, the league isn't being creative. It's leaving me wanting. If he wanted to, he would. And clearly he doesn't. If the WNBA was a man, if she wanted to, she would, and clearly she doesn't want to, because there's no creativity. Oh, we're in a long distance relationship. Well, what do you mean you don't want to watch a movie with me over Zoom and we share a screen? Because if you wanted to have quality time, we could. What do you mean you're not hopping on a plane when you have a four-day weekend to spend some time? If he wanted to, he would. And so right now the WNBA is very much giving the bare minimum, and they're treating the players like they are starved, and saying, hey, we can give you this burger now, or I could get the whole cow later.
Which is so,
I think I'll wait for the whole cow.
It's so silly. No, exactly. Have the whole cow, because guess what? The whole cow is being served to them in this thing called Project B. Yeah. Like right off the bat, they're not even playing games with that one. They're like, oh, you want anything you want, baby girl. Like literally, like princess? That's how it feels. Anything for you, princess. Yeah. Like literally, just fly over here. Just come over here, though. You know, I'm gonna fly you out of the. I'll fly you out.
I'll fly you out. No, it's true. It's true.
I will fly you out.
It's true.
So and then there's like leagues like Unrivaled that are offering like exactly what the players are asking for. $250,000 like salary starting, and then there's so many incentivized things, and there is a portion of like ownership in that league if you play in the league. And so I think that's what like all the girls are really asking for, because these are, once again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, these are not dumb women. These are very, very smart, intellectual women that, by the way, as a cause of the system, they all have their degrees, because for the longest time there was a rule that had to be in place that they had to they couldn't just go from high school to the WNBA. They had to play somewhere for 4 years before entering the WNBA to be eligible to be drafted to the WNBA. So what do most of them do? Of course, they go to the NCAA. They play basketball. They get their degree because they have to stay playing basketball somehow. So they got to actually go to class. And then now here they are, smart.
There was also no way to know that they could play basketball after. So they actually need to pursue a real career, a traditional career.
A real career.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now you're mad. Now you're mad at your own system for playing you back in your face.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like, don't be like, literally, like, you can't be like, well, let's treat them like they don't know what they're asking for or doing. Not to mention, they have a lot of amazing lawyers surrounding them in this process. This is not just being solely player driven alone. Of course, they have tons of like legal advice coming to them from every which direction. In terms of like of support. And so there's that part too. And so I think that like just like the WNBA, like they're like the owners and the commissioner and everybody on like that side of the table, they need to really come with more respect, because not like there is no other leagues that are in this situation where they are looking at profitability in the masses, like looking at large amounts of because everyone's like that 2.2 billion spanned over 11 years. Yeah, but that is just the media rights deal alone. People forget that there's jersey logos, that there's logos on the court, that there's so many other things that get accounted for in terms of money. And that's why the owners are being so greedy, because they want to make all that upside without like having any downside of without giving any of that portion back. Because by the way, let's just pretend like if they're offering 2 million, it's almost like that means they know that this player is probably going to be worth closer to 10 million. Like they know the numbers will be there. Like that's why they're projecting.
And they're front loading as well. They're trying to get them as like a greedy, gimme situation. But I think that you may have like the WNBA may have forgotten themselves, because let's not forget, these are the same players that during 2020 helped flip the US Senate blue by unseating Atlanta Dream owner Kelly Loeffler after she criticized the Black Lives Matter movement. So these are women that have stared down behemoths. These are women that have put their ass on the line for things that objectively are more important to the greater good than a basketball CBA. And I'm not saying that what this negotiation is going to impact in the future is not important, but by and large, I think we can all agree that like if you're helping swing a vote and that's going to affect millions and millions of people, that's a really big deal. So they stood there and they stared down the enemy and they didn't budge and they won. And so I don't think they're afraid of a little contract negotiation. They said, we want somewhere close to 30%. You guys are offering us 15. Let's see if we can get to 22.5. And we have time.
And I think that 30%, exactly, we have time, and 30% is still like once again, the NBA, when they you pulled out the stat a couple of weeks ago, the NBA, when they negotiated their CBA to get to 50%
at the same timeline of their
at the same time
business that the W's in now.
Exactly. The WNBA is doing better than the NBA was at that time.
By and large.
Like, and so by and large, and so that's why it's still like, what do you mean you're only like, you're just asking for 30? Like, you should technically be asking for 50, but they know the circumstances in the background, the history, and like also like I have done my own research. I've shared it with you that I've written about the financial structure of the WNBA and how it's exactly broken up. And I will say that it is so convoluted in where ownership rights go everywhere that it is hard to make that room for the 50. But technically, it's like, that's not my problem. Figure it out.
It's not, because
like, that's how it should be. It's like, but 50 it's not
a smaller fraction.
Yeah,
we talked about it before. I think it was episode 20 or 21 where we discussed the CBA in depth. So go back and check that out if you need to. But yeah, that's the update right now. NECA is saying, we don't care. We have time. Breonna Stewart is echoing those sentiments. Fee is 10 toes down. 93% of the players are aligned. So here we go. Like at this point, we're racing for pink slips. Like the stakes are high.
No, literally. And something else that happened in the WNBA this week that is leaving WNBA fans feeling like, okay, is the fact that so we all want the Houston Comets back. We want that dynasty. They were such an amazing franchise. We want them back real quick. So basically the Connecticut Sun owner, he must clearly be shopping his team around, because first it was the Boston owner, Steve, whose last name I struggle with pronouncing, Paliuka.
Pelugia?
Pulugia.
I see it in my head.
Me too.
Whatever. A man.
There's an I beside the U and a K and an A.
A man in Boston.
At the back end of his. There's a man in Boston who's really rich that is trying to move the Connecticut Sun team. He already owns a bunch of other Boston teams.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to move the Connecticut Sun to Boston, and then the governor of the Connecticut Sun was like, no. But now the whole rumor mill is that the Connecticut Sun are going to be bought out potentially by an owner down and relocated to Houston to remake the Houston Comets. And everyone's basically saying like, listen, we miss our Houston Comets. Yeah, but not at the expense of taking away a franchise that already exists, especially in New England.
But I don't think they want to be there anymore, the owners, because wasn't the tea earlier that they had a sale in place and the league vetoed it because they wanted an expansion fee in Boston? It wasn't that they're like, oh, okay, cool, Boston wants a team, well, buy it through us. It is very much giving like, use my Amazon storefront instead of Googling it because I'll get a kickback.
And on that note, like
like
the holiday season.
Yeah, because it's like the Mohegan Sun tribe that they play in Connecticut. They have the casino. There was a lacrosse team that played there as well before they got relocated also to New York. But it's that the Mohegan tribe was trying to sell. They had a deal in place that everyone was happy with, and the league said, fuck you, we want to cut. So again, these grubby, get your hands out of the cookie jar. Get your hands out of the cookie jar. Yeah, we're tired of it. Grubby little disgusting chocolatey fingers. Nasty. Oh, those look good.
I have so many cookies
in
front of me.
Oh,
yeah, my sister.
One thing about me, I will eat a cookie. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Oh, no, trust. My
no, I'm
twin
devastated
has been
because one of our youths, Haley, was like baking for us, and then we audibled to a remote broadcast, and now I feel awful because I know she made some gingerbread molasses cookies for me. Those look good.
Aww. Yeah, I have the gingerbread molasses cookies over there too.
Oh, okay, great. I love that for you. Anyway, talk to you later.
This has been a great show. Anyways,
anyway, okay, bye forever. But yeah, so we'll be watching, like, again, we're gonna have an episode coming up in the new year. That's gonna be our first episode back. We're gonna have 3 weeks before Sav heads off to Italy to work the Olympics, but we're gonna be covering it. We're gonna be following along. Right now, it's kind of hurry up and wait with the WNBA contract negotiations, and so that's all we got for you in that regard.
And then let's move real quick to the volleyball girlies, because you pointed this out last night when we were on call for a production meeting, but then also I've been seeing everything pop up on my feed, but like the volleyball girlies are really popping off, like, and I'm so here for it. But that reminded me, I don't know if it triggers you at all, but that reminded me of a lot of stories from my own lore.
Okay.
About playing volleyball. I've said this before, I'll say it with my whole chest. Like, I am very proud to be a volleyball captain, beach volleyball specifically.
Like now currently. Right.
Well, now currently, but even in my lore, in my history, and like in the history of Savannah, like she has played volleyball. I grew up in Mississauga. Mississauga is like a huge volleyball city.
Third person is
and
crazy.
So that's why.
Evan, ring a bell, ring a buzzer. Third person.
You keep on saying
no. I've never been like Ashley.
You keep on saying third person's crazy.
Lore. Ashley's hungry. Ashley needs a Christmas cookie. No.
Yes,
that's you.
No. Yeah, it's funny because you always clock me when I say that, but I never stop.
No, I need to keep you humble a little bit because that's so wild. Like real friends clock that, honestly, and I always will forever and a day. I promise you that. I do.
Nah, yeah. Savannah's lore.
Those are my vows to you.
All right. Well, anyway, Sav's lore. Group in like Mississauga, so like the huge volleyball city, and so like there's a whole lore to itself there, and that's actually part of the reason why I had to get out of Mississauga to play basketball, to go Brampton for women's. But now I'm a proud volleyball team captain. But you had a really good lore with the volleyball, with your volleyball experience.
Okay, I loved volleyball growing up. Like, and again, we're talking about this because League One volleyball has been so prominent. Alexis O'Hannon, Serena Williams' husband, has invested in it, as well as the track and field thing. NCAA volleyball on the women's side is lit. Like their rallies go on forever. There was just a viral run that made the rounds this week. But for me, it was like when we were in high school, volleyball played at the same time as basketball. And so I was I guess now they might call it a libero. They didn't really have that designation when I was playing because I'm so old. And so I was a setter. That's what they called us. And I started to get like carpal tunnel in my wrist, like dribbling the basketball, obviously draining threes, and then like setting for all the girls too. So I actually started, but getting buckets, you know, the usual. And so I started
one arm in the hoop thing.
Through the hoop, it's over.
What on the hoop?
Yeah, like casual things like that. Raking from the left side. Yeah, power left. You know, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But I started to get like arthritis, like carpal tunnel in my wrist. And so I had to choose. I couldn't do both anymore. And I just love basketball way more. So I stopped. But one of the biggest problematic things surrounding volleyball lately, which is like been the shorts and the uniforms that the girls wear. And particularly on the beach volleyball side of things, it was mandated. If you wanted to go to the Olympics and you wanted to participate in beach volleyball, get your panty on and shut up. Go get a wax, go visit 10 spots and hope for the best. Because you were showing the world your skills and everything else about you in those moments. Okay. And that's what
more than just the skills.
The world's getting to know you intimately,
very intimately.
And so I just think it's like, again, like who came up with that bullshit? Who held that to the standard? It's now been changed.
You know,
in
it was a
recent
man.
Years.
You know, I don't gotta Google this. I'm sure. You know, a man invented the high heel.
I did know that.
FYI.
So you can't run away.
Yeah.
So you can't run away from him.
Also,
but yeah, so it's been conversation about like sexualization of female athletes, in some cases, cultural sensitivity as well, like where these athletes are represented from, like what are the conventional clothing norms? What do you wear? Is it more traditional to be like modest? Are you more skinning out? Like all of that stuff, player comfort, sexism, all those things. Cause like, listen, I'll go sit on the beach for 4 seconds and there's sands all over my what everywhere, shape and form. I can't imagine diving in the sand to make a play and like realizing what that shower is going to be like after. Bro. Not to get too graphic, but like, let's be so for real here. And so, there was the rules to have to wear bikinis. And then now they've changed it where you can do like shorts or tights. There was a Norwegian team actually that was fined for refusing to wear the bikini uniform. So like the girls are standing up. It was in 2021. Things have changed since then, but yeah, volleyball, I always really loved it. I just feel like volleyball on the beach in particular, that will humble you. That will show your lack of athleticism or the alternative real quick. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Can I admit something to you?
Yeah. Go.
Remember that time you asked me to fill in for your team because you needed somebody? Yeah. I forgot. That day. I completely forgot. I was at home.
But then there was a thunderstorm.
No, mercifully. I did it. I lit a candle and did it. I did a seance.
That was you. That was why the game got canceled. You did that. You hired the Etsy witch.
I'm literally sitting at home with a beverage in pajamas and Sav calls me and I'm like, oh, hey, like, hey, Sav, She's like, hey, yeah, the weather's so bad. They've canceled all the games. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, shoot. Okay. No. I was just good. I'm glad you caught me before I left. Like, not a lie. I didn't leave.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Before I left, because I was just about to.
No, and you called me like 15 minutes before the game was supposed to start. Like there was not maybe 30 minutes before the game was supposed to start. Like ain't no way I was getting there in time had that been the case. And if it hadn't have rained, I would have been a no-show. I would have been MIA. I would have been send out the dogs because this girl is not here. So I apologize.
I had like
my lack of transparency.
Wow, thank you for admitting this. I can't even be mean because this is a public podcast. So now I can't even lash out or say anything cruel. You can lash out if
you want to.
Listen here. No. No, honestly, I had the weirdest feeling like, okay, like this is a whole sidebar podcast to itself. I'm like psychic, right? Like I am fully psychic.
Oh yeah. Here we
and
go.
Like I had a feeling. That you were not gonna come. Like I knew. I'm like, no, she forgot. I knew
that I didn't want to. I was looking forward to it.
No.
Didn't
I knew that like because I didn't text you earlier to remind you because I just left it.
You didn't check on me the day of the date.
No, literally, because I said it like the day before. I think I said it the day before because it was like no, because it was a Monday Yeah, because Monday we recorded and then Tuesday was my game night.
Yeah.
And so I think I said it the day before.
Oh,
and
no.
then and like, but whatever. Then you leave the studio and then everything goes out of your head. Like same thing with me.
You flush it.
And then
Yeah.
the Tuesday came and literally like I was like, oh, she doesn't remember. She hasn't texted me about it. She wasn't like, what do I wear? So who are we playing against?
Yeah, but I'm an
Nothing,
athlete, so like I know what to wear. I don't care who we're
She's
playing
gonna like
against.
show up. Yeah. Exactly. I know. But I was like, but nothing? Like not even like, are we doing drinks after? Like but I was like, okay, she forgot.
What's our team
I knew
color?
it. I have a feeling. I called you as like a courtesy. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. But no.
Had you not have called me, I wouldn't
thank
have
you for
shown
admitting
up,
that.
regardless. I felt bad. I was like, oh, and then you're like, it's canceled.
I called you as a formality.
No, I was like, oh no, like Google, like,
yeah,
on my computer, like
really?
Car traffic noises, like, oh, I'm like actually
traffic
siren. Please invite me
come.
back.
I knew it.
Invite me back.
Well, yeah, you could come.
I'll be ready.
Did you want to be a part of the team? Like, did you want to like sign up with us, or did you want to be a sub? Because it's like especially the spring season is like, I don't know, like April to like June or something like that.
On Tuesdays?
It goes by really fast. On Tuesdays, Wednesday, it depends on the day we choose.
What's like the demographic of the league?
Everyone's about like my height and taller. That's all you need to know.
Boys and girls?
That's all. Boys and girls. That's all you need to know.
Okay. Yeah. Tuesdays?
Tuesdays are great. Tuesdays are great.
I actually love a Tuesday.
We love a Tuesday. Shout out to Jam Sports. Okay. Shout out to Jam.
Sponsor our podcast.
But yeah, anyway.
Jam Sports sponsor our podcast. Honestly, like, what are you guys doing?
No. I'm cool. I'm cool with like the woman who owns it. I'm like, yo,
let's do it. Let's do a deal. The Cinderella Stories Jam Sports Tournament Extravaganza, the heptathlon, the Cinderella Stories Jam Sports heptathlon. Think about it.
Yeah. Oh, heptathlon. Miss me on that. That was crazy.
Like not the actual things that they do, just like 6 or 8 things that we would do with Jam Sports. Like, is there an ultimate frisbee moment?
True. Oh, yeah.
Is there a badminton
okay, you know what's
moment?
funny? Sidebar? When my team got us to the finals, right? And like I missed several weeks. So I was on the road. I was working, et cetera, et cetera. I came back and the finals like, Sav, we need you here. Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine. Bet.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Literally like drank the magic with like the Space Jam, like
special
magic stuff.
Michael's special stuff.
Michael's special. Yeah, that special stuff. And literally the ball got tipped up. I got it immediately. Like one step, like, cause like, keep going, elementary school gym. Yeah. One step, Caitlin Clark that thing. Swish. And that was the beginning of the game. Let's just say Sav went LeBron James. Like Sav
so
went.
Annoying. You're so annoying.
Sav went one arm in the hoop on them.
Yeah, first play. Anyway, we lost 64-2. That was our only basket.
No, we won. Humbly we won. But yeah, no, that was probably like the peak of my post college career.
Your rec career. Yeah.
My rec career.
I dove a little bit deeper with the football stuff. That's something that still gets like pretty intense. I'm going to Tampa in January for the World Championships. We played in the Canadian World Championships last July. The women who represent Team Canada were there as well. So like that's something that's like kind of like kept me sharp in that regard. Although I do have a Boxing Day tournament on deck, and I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie, because I haven't really done anything like, when it's like when you think about when's the last time I ran full speed. It's been a minute since I ran full speed, and I will be required to run full speed on Boxing Day. So that's why I was at the gym this morning.
Wow.
I was like, I gotta get the quick twitch, at least not even awake, just like the first alarm has to go up. They could press snooze, but the quick twitch just needs to be in the room with us. I'm
Don't
scared.
pull a hammy, bro.
I'm
Don't pull a
scared.
hammy. I need you in full function for Cinderella stories in the new year.
I know,
Which
I
good luck
know.
with that, though. Like good luck
Mhm.
with that. And I guess that brings us to our last part, which is
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions,
Yes,
because
please.
as we approach the holiday season, and we're in the holiday season, I should say,
Mhm.
what's something that you're looking forward to or you're trying to work on resolution wise? Do you have any?
Yeah,
Do you
like I
believe do you
mean,
believe in resolutions?
I I don't believe in resolutions in the traditional sense where you can just do something um and be like, I'm going to do this and then like put it into the environment and then it's like done. I believe, and I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying to be better at it. And that's kind of my New Year's resolution is to like put your dreams into plans, into action. It's something that
Mm.
I'm a big dreamer. I love to be like, this would be so cool. This would be so cool. I ideate a ton. I'm always like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I don't have a lot of follow through in some cases. And it's something that like I've acknowledged about myself. So this year I'm trying to still have my like big plans and my big goals, but get my head out of the clouds dancing with the Disney birds and like get both feet on the ground and say, okay, these are your plans. There's something that you can achieve and aspire to, but here's how it's going to happen. And then take those steps to actually watch it come true.
I love that. I love so okay, that said, what is your New Year's resolution?
To to,
No,
to
that's nice. That's nice. So what's your resolution?
I think I want to do more stuff digitally, like more stuff on like
Okay.
Instagram and TikTok. I want to lean into the football space a ton leading up to LA 28 because that is like my big dreamer's dream at this point is like I want to call the Olympics. So I want to call football at the
Hey.
Olympics, LA 28. Like I want to be an analyst. I want to be in the booth. There's not many people, if anyone, that have the broadcast experience that I have, plus the flag football experience that I have. I think I'm in a unique position to showcase that. But it's like everyone who's hiring for roles of any kind, they want. I'm not saying that the people that they hire aren't good, but they want someone that they can find easily. And so, as
Mm-hmm.
creators and as broadcasters, it's our responsibility to put ourselves out there to be found. Um,
Yes,
and then let
exactly.
that
I was gonna
translate into work.
I can't wait to like clip this clip when you do get that role and then like have it played back and be like, we manifested it. Like
We lit a
like see,
candle.
speak it into existence. You was yeah, facts. Speak it into existence.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
What
No,
about
honestly,
yourself?
and I think it's yeah, man, I honestly like I feel like I'm in a season of like just kind of being present more with myself. And I mean that sincerely because like I feel like in my entire 20s, I just turned 30 this year. My entire 20s, I've been in this go, 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 hustle, hustle,
Mm-hmm.
hustle, hustle, hustle. And that's not to say I'm not gonna hustle or nothing like that, but like it's just more like enjoying a bit more the fruits of my labor, sure. But while still building, still growing, but it's just kind of like let me like almost like I don't want to say hands off the steering wheel because it's definitely still on the steering wheel, but just like let life take me a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
trust in like what's meant for me will find me type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like, obviously with the Toronto Tempo coming around, like the WNBA space is something that I'm deeply sincerely passionate about. And I'm just trying to get involved any which way I can with that, whether
Yeah.
that's remains obviously still well, Cinderella stories regardless.
Yeah.
But if there's any more formal way of getting involved on
Yeah.
that side, then like I'm here for it basically. And then
Yeah.
just in terms of the Olympics, like that's kind of like my enjoy the moment, let it like sink it all in,
Yeah.
like take it all in. Um, and let kind of just like yeah, like let life take me. By the way, this is like something that's completely foreign to me. This concept is foreign to me. Like I don't do that. Like I just like I'm like, okay, here's my goal and charge towards it,
Yeah. Like
versus
regardless
like
of what's in your
let
way or who's in your way. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like
no, yeah,
one track
yeah,
mind.
one track
Yeah.
mind and enjoying like I have feel like I have done a better job of like being more present in my friends' life, and that's also happens because I'm traveling a lot less comparatively for
With
work.
work. Yeah.
But exactly, but like kind of been able to enjoy my friends a lot more, my family a lot more, and you kind of like as I'm getting older, like I'm getting that more in perspective that
Mhm.
like not to be so sentimental, but like our time is so limited,
It
and
is.
it is, and like your parents are not getting any younger.
No, that scares me. I can't think about it.
I know. And so
I
it's
can't
kind of
think
like
about it.
really staying present, I think, in 2026 for me. While, like I said, like I have my goals. I want to continue to grow Cinderella stories. I want to get us to a place where like we're traveling internationally as well for Cinderella stories.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see where we continue to go. And I also, like, with that said too, like let's be a space where women can consistently, the girls and the gays can have great conversations around sports and feel welcomed and create spaces like in physical presence, but then also in virtual presence where they know that, like, you know, when they come to us, they feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel appreciated.
Yeah, we have big plans for Cinderella stories in 2026. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll be seeing you a lot more in real life, hopefully, like bring back real life meetups kind of thing. So I'm excited. I love that for you. I love that you seem and feel more centered and like more comfortable, just like in your own being. Welcome to type B life, babe.
Ah! Hence why I was 15 minutes late today.
It's great here.
Great hair.
But
and then also wearing my hair more naturally. This is a type B hair.
Yeah, me today by default, but we're doing it. It is what it is. But thank you to everyone who ever listened and watched and subscribed and downloaded and shared with their friends. And thank you to our wonderful interns, Haley and Nadine. We could not do this without you. And to our fantastic editor, Evan. We could not do this without you. And to our part-time editor, Jordan. And to Clayton and Dylan, who allow us to use their studio, which makes our show look super fantastic, very professional. To all our friends at Glory Media who are helping distribute our podcast. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. We can't wait to see you guys soon.